Hello friends, this is Girish.M.V, the YouTuber of Girish Aviation. Today we'll see a completely new topic which we haven't covered yet, the evolution of airline logos. So today we'll see uh, how the logo of major airlines evolved over time. So I couldn't of course make all the airlines. So if you want another part, uh, let me know down in the comments. So let's see. Let's start. So first, starting off, we have several uh, several parts in this. First, we have the European logos, the American logos, the South American logos, the African logos, the Asian logos, and the Australian logos. So a total of six chapters in this. It's not five. Our first airline is Aegean Airlines. Aegean Airlines is the flag carrier of Greece. It was founded pretty recently, so its logo is not much evoluted much. So the first logo has the has Aegean Airlines on it, and the emblem is two birds, as you can see. Next, this line along with the name airlines was removed to simplify it. Today's logo is entirely changed as Aegean Airlines has moved the two birds to the side, while also changed the font mark of the logo, so you can clearly see. Our next airline is Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus is the flag carrier of Ireland. The flag carrier of Ireland has several logos that has evolved over time. The first one was pretty simple, having a yellow background with the name Aer Lingus. Next, it became a kind of like a purplish blue background with some kind of a rose color in a kind of a rose color. It was written as Aer Lingus. The next livery, the same color that was used in the first one was also used. It was almost like that. So Aer Lingus's third logo was something different altogether. So Aer Lingus, the font again changed, but the Aer Lingus, but the so yeah, this was actually another livery. The color was maintained in the fourth logo, but the font changed again, and the logo was made larger as well, as you can see. Next, the word Irish was added, and the usual three petal flower which we see on the logo today was added. Next, the Irish was removed, and on a and there was a black background with the name Aer Lingus and the rose on it. So yeah, Aer Lingus is kind of like a. And then again, the background was removed totally. The background which was over time was removed completely, and Aer Lingus made a new livery. The flower color changed to green. It changed livery once again to the color changing to a the color the color of the rose changing changing. It was a lighter green, and the font changed again. So yeah, Aer Lingus' logo has ended pretty quickly, but yeah, it's not the one with the most logos that we'll see in this video. Our next airline was Aeroflot. Aeroflot, as we all know, is the flag carrier of Russia and was the flag carrier of the Soviet Union. So, so at first there was actually not a lot of evolution because it was kind of like this hammer thing. Which we say if you have seen a Soviet flag, you have probably seen this. And this was the first thing, and you can partially see the hammer. Yeah, there it is. The logo, the emblem of the Soviet Union. You can clearly see it. After that, the logo was changed to a pretty normal one. As you can see, that we have the emblem of the Soviet Union and what is this? But yeah, next in the name Aeroflot was added below the emblem. Next, after the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, it completely changed. The emblem, and the symbol was removed and was made really small over here, and yeah, it was made. And now there was the name this Russian International Airlines. This thing called Russian International Airlines was also added. Next, it was simplified. The Russian International Airlines was simplified to just Russian Airlines. After that, for some time, both the Russian Airlines and the emblem were removed, and the Russian flag was added. But again, Russian Airlines with some kind of a white line and in the emblem, is the current logo of Aeroflot. So yeah, it's also a logo that has evoluted over time. Our next airline is a pretty known, and that's Air France, which is of course the flag carrier of France. So the first logo was pretty different from what it is, as you can see, it's kind of like a horse. I don't know what is that animal, but yeah, it's kind of like a horse. And then it completely changed. It gets onto the other. So Air France, yeah, and then Air France's livery completely changed. Then the stripes would be if no Air France's old liveries, there were these stripes. These stripes were added for followed by the name Air France below it. And then there was a line came in the middle of and the Air France and the lines. So and then they were moved to over here and over here. Then the livery again changed. The line was removed, but the logo remained it. And then the entire font mark style was changed. And the color became black, and instead of multiple lines, which was actually five, now was reduced to just one. Yeah, as you can see. And then the color of the logo became blue. The name Air France turned into blue. The stripe remained the same. And next we have Alitalia. Of course, we all know that Alitalia shut down very recently. So yeah, but it's still very important to learn what the flag carrier of Italy's logos look like. For Alitalia's first logo had a had a bow and arrow with the name Alitalia on it. Then Alitalia hasn't much changed its livery. The next four logos hasn't much really changed because after the first logo, the second logo was completely changed. The bow and arrow were removed. The font style was entirely changed, as you can see. And then the color was made to green, and the font became a little lower. And I don't know if they can do this, but there's almost no difference between. And then there's only a little bit of difference between this. This was the final logo it adopted before it ceased operations in 2021. After that, we have Austrian Airlines. Austrian Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Austria, hasn't the logo hasn't much evolved over time. Except first there was Austrian Airlines was written in capital, which is I don't know what is this, but yeah, there was this emblem which was there in the line below it. And then the line was removed, and then the airlines was also removed along with and there was the emblem became a bit changed. That's it. It became a bit changed, while there was also a shadow added. Now the current livery was much bigger, and the emblem was moved to a higher. It is now in line with the name Austrian. As you can see here, it's not exactly aligned over here. Here and they are aligned. The next airline we're going to discuss British. Just ignore this thing. British Airways had three logos, even though it is 50 years old. It's half a decade old, but still it hasn't much evolved over time. The first logo was simple. So yeah, this is the flag carrier of the UK. So, the first logo for British Airways British Airways was formed when BOAC and BA merged. British. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, so the first one was just simple British Airways. There was British Airways written on it with the same contrasting yellow and not yellow. It was red and blue. The word British was in red, while the word Airways was in blue. The next one, the emblem completely changed again. The name British Airways the color was changed to black, and there was a big line ordered. It was followed by a slant line. It looked more like a 7. Yeah, it looked more like a 7. And then British Airways is today's livery. Yeah, as you can see, it is fully in blue now. The black thing was changed to blue, and the original colors, red and blue, were red upon the emblem here. Here's the blue and here's the red. As you might have recognized, these colors actually represent the British flag. Yeah, the British flag is made up of the colors red, blue, and white. So yeah, these just represent the British flag. I think that's my assumption. And Brussels Airlines, the flag carrier of Belgium, had just one logo. Yeah, a number of dots made the letter B. It kept increasing in size until over here when it became small again. And then the name Brussels Airlines. The logo hasn't changed since since its foundations, because it was founded very recently. And then we have Jet Airlines. Jet Airlines was one of the oldest airlines to be in operation. It is the fifth oldest airline to be in operation. It was the flag carrier of Czech Republic, and there was a logo from 1923 to 1990 that I didn't find. So yeah, the CSA Czech Airlines. CSA Czech Airlines was the first one. There were just three stripes over here, and the Czech Airlines formation was different. And then the CSA was moved inside of this red triangular thing, and the CSA was made white. The Jet Airlines name was now blue, and the three triangular, the flag-like things were removed. And then we have Finnair, which is the flag carrier of Finland. Finland, Finland's first logo, you can clearly see a long line followed by F inside a blue circle, with the name Finnair written next to it. And then Finnair's logo changed a little bit. The font style was changed a little bit, and the and now the F was inside a blue square instead of a blue circle. And Finnair's next logo completely removed the letter F, the long line, and the circle and square which was inside. Today's Finnair logo has just the name Finnair, and the logo has changed. Not the logo, font, the font work has changed again. So this is Finnair's current logo, which is in the color of like a purplish. It's very dark purple. Moving on to our next airline is Iberia. So Iberia is a really old airline, so you can see clearly how it has evolved over time. Iberia is the flag carrier of Spain. The first logo hadn't really do with it. It had the name Iberia written in big bold letters, big black bold letters. Iberia's next logo was a bit different because there was some wings added, and the name Iberia was still there. You can clearly see it here. The Spanish flag without the emblem was added inside of a circle. Iberia's next logo was simple. There was this Iberia written in have a cursive handwriting and with a line followed over it. Iberia's next logo added a globe in Iberia, and there's this name written Lianas Areas de España. España means Spain in the Spanish. I don't know what Lianas Areas means. So the Iberia name was still there, and this eye circle around the globe. Then the globe was retained, but it was a bit changed, as you can see. The the uh, the Spanish flag without the emblem appears again, and Iberia, and the name Iberia was shifted. And yeah, you can also see this second logo over here. Also, you can see it very tiny. And then the globe's color was changed to kind of like maybe light yellow, and the name and the letters IB were added, just the letters IB. And then the logo was entirely removed, and the IB were changed to stylish with a little bit stylish with the crown, and then the name Iberia appears in red, and Liana Radius de España again. Iberia's next logo removed the Liana's Areas de España, and the letters IB were moved to the right of the moved to the right. Then the current logo, however, is completely changed. The font has completely changed, and instead of the IB, only the original colors appear. The B's yellow and the I's red appear over here. Our next airline is Icelandair. Icelandair is the flag carrier of Iceland. So Icelandair's first logo involved a horse. It's somewhat similar to one that Air France has, even though it's not. The wings spread out. There was a wing with the flying horse, I think, and just spread out. The name Icelandair on it. Yeah, it had a name. Oh, it had the name Icelandair on it. This logo was actually was the first logo, and there was something written in I think it is Flug Felau Island. I don't know what really is that. After that, Icelandair had a new logo with just two stripes, and the font color was same, but it was the font style was changed. After that, Icelandair's third and final logo, which appears in today, added these two stripes inside a blue tail fin. It's the vertical stabilizer of the plane. If you've seen a plane, yeah, this is actually the very end of the plane where this appears. And the name Icelander color changed to blue, and so did the font style. Okay, oh, don't go to Iberia. Okay, our next airline is Italia Transporto Aereo, or ITA Airways. This is the airline that replaced Alitalia in 2021. Now, if you're thinking the logo hasn't yet diluted, that's wrong because the ITA Airways has also changed one time. So ITA Airways' first logo had the colors of the flag of Italy until 2021. So the name Italia Transporto Aereo over it. After it was launched and became the flag carrier of Italy, ITA Airways' livery was changed. The name Italia Transporto Aereo was removed and Airways changed. The letters ITA were the font style were completely changed, as you can see. And yeah, and then this is one complicated one. KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, which is the flag carrier of the Netherlands. It is the oldest airline. It was founded in 1919 and still in operation. So yeah, this is actually a shocking fact. And KLM's logo, yeah, is so many logos as you can see. KLM's first logo had a had a crown with the name KLM in the center with wings. The second logo didn't change much except for the colors. The third logo was also a bit of a change in the colors and the font work of KLM. It was just a little bit changed. The fourth one also involved the same components, but yeah, the color was changed again. The fifth logo, however, involved was a little bit was a bit changed. So these two bird kind of things appears over here and here rather than the thing else changed. The sixth logo had the name KLM Royal Dutch Airlines written below the emblem, which is seen over here. And then it and then the seventh logo where we took things a little farther and the colors was changed while there was a circle appeared. The next one also didn't change much except for the color of Royal Dutch Airlines and the color of the emblem. And next, red and white stripes were added behind this. They had the circle and the KLM, the name KLM Royal Dutch Airlines. Then the stripes were changed to blue and purple. Blue and purple. Before the stripes became vertical and the diagonal and became some kind of like a purple, and it's not purple. And the emblem was simplified to just the crown. And then the stripes were completely removed and KLM became like this, followed by this logo and KLM, and we finally come to the present logo, which has KLM, a crown, and the name Royal Dutch Airlines. After that, we have Lot Polish Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Poland, and the first one had what a Polski Linii I don't know how to pronounce it, and the name LOT written before it. And then today's logo has just the name Polish Airlines written above the letters LOT. Our next airline is Lufthansa, and Lufthansa, like British Airways, has only three logos, even though it is really old. Lufthansa's first logo involved the same bird emblem which we see in 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 a, in a blue background. After that, the blue background was removed and the emblem was moved to the right, and it was just named Lufthansa, which completely changed. The final logo was only changed the colors of the emblem and the name changed to black. Other than that, it hasn't much evolved. After that, we have SAS Scandinavian Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. So SAS Scandinavian Airlines' first one had those types kind of like Air France had. But if you take a closer look, you can actually recognize the flag of Norway here, the flag of Sweden. And I can't see the flag of Denmark here, but I can see the flag of Norway and Sweden if you take a closer look. After that, however, this thing was removed and SAS and the name SAS was added inside a blue box, blue square, and the name Scandinavian Airlines was added in front of it. Today's logo has just SAS, and there's no Scandinavian Airlines and no box. It's just very simple. And then we have Swiss International Airlines. Swiss International Airlines is the flag carrier of Switzerland. It was replaced by, it was actually uh, the successor for Swiss Air, the old flag carrier, which ceased operations in 2002. The first logo had Swiss with a plus that appears on the Swiss flag, and another box which has the name Swiss International Airlines. The next logo was just simplified to the red background of the Swiss flag, around with the flag, and name Swiss written next to it. Our final European airline is TAP Air Portugal. TAP Air Portugal is the flag carrier of Portugal. And its logo also has quite a limited overhead. First, we have this kind of like TAP, and yeah, I don't know. It looks like a bird. It looks like a bird. Next, the emblem of the Portuguese flag was added, and the and the bird remained over there. The bird then changed the colors. I don't know what it really. It doesn't look like a bird. And the letters TAP were added over it. The bird was then completely removed, and the and the and, and TAP was removed from the capital letters to the small letters, and the name A Portugal was added. TAP was then shortened to the big letters, and beside it, TAP Portugal was written. In today's logo, the TAP was removed and Air was added. TAP Air Portugal. So before we move on, before we move on to the American logos, I want to say you something. So I haven't included all the American logos before because I only like the US ones. Air Canada, Aero Mexico, and Caribbean Airlines. I'll cover it in another video. Only the big three of the Americans, the American, Delta, and United, are covered in this video. So next, for the first one is American Airlines. American Airlines is the largest airline in the USA, as well as it's also counted like the flag carrier of the USA, but it actually isn't. The first logo had the written AAA means American Airlines, so with the big eagle on it, which is, as we all know, is the national bird of the US. And then the background was changed, and then it looked like the eagle had turned, and the AAA was changed. The name American was added next, and then a red circle was added. Then the logo completely changed. The eagle's wings were now kind of like a square. The name A written below it, and below it were American Airlines. But the name AA was finally removed, but the eagle remained. The eagle is the national emblem. And if you see carefully here, you can see the eagle's beak, or the eagle's body formation and its two wings. So that's what actually is there, with the name in front of the American Airlines name. After that, we have Delta Airlines. Yeah, you can see Delta Airlines had more logos than even KLM. So yeah, even though it's not old as KLM. The first name was Huff Dallin Dusters, I think, and its logo was completely different. After that, it was then evolved to the same triangle, but there was something. It was kind of like a head. There was a head of a human, with his hair blowing out of the triangle. Then it changed to Delta Air Corporation. I don't know what to say. The triangle was then removed bare, and kind of like these wings around a circle, which said Delta Airlines. And after that, we then had the Delta Airlines. The circle was added in front of, like, I don't know what the kind of shape is. It looks like a diamond-ish. And then Delta Airlines is next logo. What had I don't know what is that, but yes, it's not very simple. Next, the wing remained there, and Delta Airlines, there was a circle around Delta Airlines, and then the blue. And next we have the supporting the heart of America and the Caribbean. That was added, and the Delta C and S, I think that's what it is. Then Delta Airlines then became over here, and then it became Delta Jet with the emblem that is found today added on top of it, and there was a kind of like, I don't know what that's called, but yeah, you have must seen this. Then the emblem was made horizontal with the name Delta, followed by a round oval inside a round oval which outlined a blue oval. Put the name Delta, and the airlines was added, and the emblem became vertical again. Next, this thing was removed. The blue oval was removed, and the emblem was made bigger, and Delta Airlines was here. And then the circle was removed, and the Delta Airlines became normal again. Next, we have the American flag over here. This so actually to celebrate the 200th Independence Day, and then it became like this Delta Airlines in front of the small emblem, and became Delta added in front of the emblem, Delta Airlines in front of the emblem, and then just Delta in front of the emblem. Before the font style was changed, and the colors instead of blue and red, it was just red. And so yeah, this is Delta Airlines present logo. So yeah, you can clearly see how much it evolved over time. The last airline in the big three is United Airlines. United Airlines is the second biggest airline in terms of fleet, and it's not only in the US but in the entire world. The first logo had the map of the US added to United Airlines. The next was removed. The name United Airlines took its place. The font work of the United Airlines and the third logo changed, and there was a this kind of like a bluish. There was a signish blue rectangle. And then was this United Airlines logo, which the emblem, which was found pretty over here, and the United Airlines. Then we have the U.S. flag, and was written coast to coast, means few all of the U.S. And then we have United Airlines as next logo, which retained the thing, and United Airlines was written on it, and the U.S. flag was removed. It was not so simplified, except for the thing United Airlines became. Except for the thing, the colors changed, and then it became a little bit more diagonal. And the name United was like largened, while the next United Airlines had retained the same colors, but now in the shape of a triangle instead of this. In the middle, United was there. The name, the font United was changed, and then the blue and red was added again with the name United Airlines. Like there was a font changed again. Then this United again changed again, just United Airlines. Then this became United Airlines, and then it became United once again. However, in 2011, following the merger with Continental Airlines, United Airlines acquired the logo, the emblem, acquired the emblem. This kind of like the United Airlines. So this became a globe. Instead of this, it became a globe. The globe was simplified, and the United Indian side was removed to each United. The blue color was made darker, and there was a little bit change in the emblem, and that was its current logo. And then we move on to the Asian logos, which is perhaps the largest thing we want to see in this video. And first we have Air China, the flag carrier of China. It hasn't much evolved except this bird kind of thing. What is that? And Air China, with written in Chinese letters. The Air China was then changed, and the emblem was made larger, while everything else retained. And then we move on to Air India, which is the flag carrier of India. So Air India's first logo was like a man shooting bow and arrow, and the name Air India written below it. Then we have Air India, and then the emblem was changed to a sun, and that is current logo. The name Air India was added in Hindi, which is the native language of India, and Air India, and this is same Air India. The font was changed. And then we have the largest Japanese airline, All Nippon Airways. All Nippon Airways had a total of 5 logos. The first one was very simple, just had the kind of like this thing, and All Nippon Airways Corporation Limited written around it. The next logo completely changed. ANA was added. All Nippon Airways ANA was written in Japanese, and below it there was All Nippon Airways. The next one removed the lines in Japanese and the line and then the vertical line, because ANA was still there, but it was out and was also in blue, while All Nippon Airways was retained. And next, All Nippon Airways was removed from here, and everything else remained same. And then soon, the current logo has the motto "Inspiration of Japan" written below it. So yeah, guys, I want to say something before we move on. So if I can't cover all the airlines in this video, I'll shortly make a part 2. Will be coming out very soon. So check out for that if I can't complete in this video. And then we have Asiana Airlines, which is the one of the biggest carriers in South Korea. The logo hasn't much evolved over time, except for this kind of like a heart kind of thing with the Asiana Airlines written on it. Then Asiana Airlines had a logo with the red, with an upside down red V. The red V was then changed to black. Not no, the red V remained red, but the name Asiana Airlines was changed to black, and the font remained same. What? Okay, very good. Then we have China Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Taiwan. The first one had the letter C wrapping around A and L, and the L expanded until it made something like a vertical stabilizer like it. And then a massive blue circle was added around it, and the logo's colors changed from blue to white. And China Airlines before and then the logo completely changed. Also, this rose added. The rose was changed to what looked more real, and there's also this blue kind of thing, blue stripe. China Airlines, the entire name appears with the name also written in Chinese. And then we have China Eastern Airlines. China Eastern Airlines his logo hasn't really much changed, except for the fact this first logo involved, there was this kind of a big C and a small C. That was the thing. The name China Eastern written in both English and Chinese. The background of the emblem was removed, and the color of the background, red and blue, were added to this one. Next, the font work was a little bit changed in the third and today's logo, but other than that, there was nothing else different. After that, we have China Southern Airlines, another major airline in China. So first, we had only the emblem, and then there's vertical stabilizer kind of thing inside a blue circle with the name China Southern written next to it, and then China Southern over here and with the Chinese written on it. It was written in Chinese, and then we have the blue vertical stabilizer with the emblem in red. So yeah, this is the current logo which China Southern Airlines has. Next, we have El Al Israel Airlines. El Al Israel Airlines has the flag carrier of Israel. The first logo was all written in L, and I think this is in Arabic, in all, in both English and Arabic, before the Israeli flag appeared. They were all written in blue. The English letters and the Israeli flag appeared in blue, and I think this is some kind of a greenish green, I don't know, so some kind of green. The next one, L, R, and the Israeli flag was changed to green, and the Arabic letters I think was changed to some kind of a greenish. It was still a greenish color. And then we have one of the most awaited airlines. We were waiting for this, and that's Emirates, which is one of the two flag carriers of the UAE. Emirates' first hand logo was not really much changed except for this thing. I think this is also in Arabic. The name Emirates. And today's logo has the Emirates name changed on it. Then we have Etihad Airways. Etihad Airways is the flag carrier of the UAE. And Etihad Airways, the name was written in Arabic while Etihad Airways was still there. In the color was changed to what looked like more of a golden. Then in the Airways, his font was changed in the current livery. Then we have EVA Air, which is a major carrier, which is one of the major airlines of Taiwan. EVA Air's first logo had this kind of like a written in Chinese before this emblem. The only modification that has happened ever is that the thing was removed. It was removed. The Chinese the letters were removed. The color was a bit changed, other than that, nothing else had happened. And then we have Garuda Indonesia, which is the flag carrier of Indonesia. Garuda Indonesia has this kind of like a flag, Garuda Indonesian Airways, with this kind of like emblem in front of it. In between this thing, Garuda Indonesian Airways then was simplified. The emblem, the flag thing was removed, and so did the circle. Then the entire name Garuda Indonesia, the body Airways was also removed, and now the emblem was also changed. In the fourth and final logo, the Garuda Indonesia was changed again. The font work was changed. And then we have Gulf Air. Gulf Air's logo has evolved much over time. The first name was Gulf Aviation, so it was written in red letters. Before there was green, and the Gulf Aviation was completely changed. And we have Gulf Air. The Bahraini flag carrier then changed its name to Gulf Air with the Arabic letters. and then this background was removed. Before there was an eagle added, and the color kept changing on the next two logos. Before another background was added in the current logo, and it came to the finally, and there was this Arabic. All things remained from the first logo since it remained confirmed to this day. Our next airline is Hainan Airlines. It's not Hainan, it's Hainan. It is. It is. Hainan Airlines is another major airline of China, so we have this kind of like thing for us. I don't know what is this. And then Hainan Airlines has the written name in Chinese. Before we have this kind of like thing, and I don't know what is this really, because Hainan Airlines. The Hainan Airlines was made to capital, and I don't know what is this because it's come an emblem. What is this V kind of thing appeared in the middle of nowhere, huh? So Hainan Airlines, and you can also see Hainan Airlines is letters were changed just a little bit. If you observe, probably you'll get to know it. Like we have India, largest airline of India, and yeah, the logo hasn't changed at all. We have this Indigo over here with a plane and name Indigo written in there. And then we have Japan Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Japan. The first logo involved kind of like two wings sticking out of a triangle. I think it's JAL. Yeah, I think it's then. And then the name Japan Airlines was added in front of what looked like a bird below the name JAL. What? And then the name JAL appeared again with the bird and the Japan Airlines removed, but a new thing was added with the name, with the colors red and grey maybe. And that thing became curved, and JAL also was changed. Next, it was removed. The curved thing was removed, and the bird came back with the JAL and Japan Airlines on it in the current livery. And then we have Korean Air, which is the flag carrier of South Korea. The flag carrier of South Korea had kind of like a triangle in front of a circle, which was emblem. Before the bird, before it was changed to a bird with the letters KL, Korean Airlines was actually before it was known as Korean Airlines with a circle on it. The today's logo, when it changed to Korean Air, was clearly represented the South Korean flag instead of the letter O. Then we have Kuwait Airways. Kuwait Airways is the flag carrier. The flag carrier of Kuwait. Kuwait Airways has the letters written in Arabic and with the name written on it, and you can clearly see what's going on here. There's a bird, and it looks like the entire name was simplified to just the first letter. I think it was the first letter of the Arabic. And the bird still was there, and the name Kuwait Airways was completely changed. And then we have Malaysia Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Malaysia. And Malaysia, this first one had MAS with the logo still over here with the emblem. MAS means Malaysian Airlines System. That was previously it wasn't even known. Malaysian Airlines then changed its livery to this kind of like a blue and red kind of thing. The blue and red kind of thing then became over here. The emblem was changed or was moved to the left, to the right, and the name Malaysian Airlines color got a little bit darker. Now coming to the really end and really coming to the close of the Malaysian Airlines, then we have Pakistan International Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Pakistan. And now this is its current logo because Pakistan International Airlines has this with great people to fly with, and I think this is in I don't know which language this is, but in the native language. Then PIA, Pakistan International Airlines. This logo was written only for a short time, I think in 2017, before it was changed to again this. So yeah, so this is the thing that happened. And then we have Qatar Airways, which is the flag carrier of Qatar. And the first one had this kind of like a goat with in front of vertical stabilizer. Before the goat was still there, and Qatar Airways was there. And the name Qatar Airways appeared in the letters black and grey, and the name, I think this appears in Arabic again. Qatar Airways became more bigger in the current logo with this kind of like the goat became more simple, and Airways was added again. And everything Airways and the colors were same except for the fact the font work was changed and the goat became bigger. Then we have Saudia, the flag carrier of Saudi Arabia. Saudia's first logo had a tree in front of like two knives. It was named Saudia. Then a total of Saudi Arabian Airlines was removed in front of the tree and the two knives, and the background was removed. Next, it was just the Saudi Arabian Airlines was simplified to Saudi, and everything remained same. Everything else remained same. Singapore Airlines' logo has also hasn't much evolved over time since the flag carrier of Singapore first had a logo that represented the blackbird first before and was both written in black, the name and the emblem. Then the the emblem was then changed to kind of like the golden color was the name. The name became kind of like a bluish color. So yeah, this was the evolution. And then we have Thai Airways. Thai Airways is first logo. Yeah, you can see a man dancing over here with the name Thai in front of it. And then Thai, and then had this livery, this emblem, this change. The emblem was changed. The font work of Thai Airways was then changed. The name Thai, and the color also was slightly changed. Then we have Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines is the flag carrier of Turkey. The first airline, the first logo was I don't know how to explain this. The next logo had a bird named THY, Turk Hava Yulhani, Turkish Airlines written on it. The bird was changed to opposite side while there was a big circle running in, and Turkish Airlines became like this. Turkish Airlines then Turkish Airlines then became like this with the bird still appearing. The, while the font work was the font color was changed to blue. The font color was then changed to blue with well, all remained blue, but the color of the emblem was changed, and the font work a little bit changed, and then the font color was changed to black while the emblem remained. Our last Asian carrier is Vietnam Airlines. Vietnam Airlines is the flag carrier of Vietnam, and yeah, the first logo wasn't really. It was kind of like a bee. It looks like a bee, and then there was this kind of like a lotus plant added in front of Vietnam Airlines. The logo then completely changed altogether. And then we have the African Airlines. We have only 5 African airlines to cover over here in this video because our first airline is Egypt Air, which is the flag carrier of Egypt. So Egypt Air's first logo had this name written in Arabic named Egypt Air, and I think this is kind of like an eagle, like a vertical stabilizer. The Arabic name of the vertical stabilizer was removed to just Egypt Air and the emblem over it. And this is the current logo. Next, we have Ethiopian Airlines, which is the flag carrier of Ethiopia. Ethiopian Airlines the logo was actually had red, blue, and red, yellow, and green with the name Ethiopian Airlines. Next, the name was also in Amharic, which is I think the native thing in Ethiopia. The name Ethiopian was also changed, and it was removed to most likely the name of vertical stabilizer. Next, we have Kenya Airways, which is the flag carrier of Kenya. The first one had kind of like a K with some kind of a 7, I don't know what it is, written in the name Kenya Airlines. Then the K was simply, it was just a K with the name Kenya Airways beside it. Then we have Royal Air Morocco, which is the flag carrier of Morocco. The logo hasn't really changed. It's the font work. This color has been written 3 times, and this is the current logo as you can see. The last African airline is South African Airways, and South African Airways has changed a bit. There was kind of like this horse, which doesn't appear today, and then there was this SAA with the horse that is still there. And with the name South African Airways appearing in blue, South African Airways then was changed again. The name was simplified. SAA was removed. In place of the bird, there was now the South African flag with the sun rising on it. The South African flag was soon simplified to the vertical stabilizer, and South African and Airways were delivered by line. The line was then totally removed, and South African Airways appeared below the South African flag with the sun rising, and it's this current logo. Now moving on to the South American logos. The first airline is Aerolíneas Argentinas, the flag carrier of Argentina. Aerolíneas, the first logo had just the name Aerolíneas Argentinas written in blue, and then a massive bird was added on top of Aerolíneas Argentinas, and the font was also changed. And then the bird became really small, and Aerolíneas was in blue and Argentinas was in grey, and this is current logo. And next we have Avianca, which is the flag carrier of Colombia. The first name was Skata. I think it's Skada. Skada, for the first livery of Skada, had the kind of eagle over here. And then the Skada was completely changed with Lianas, Areas, Sur America, Colombia. So the And then when Skarda changed his name to Avianca, and there was kind of like a plane and Aerolíneas Nacionales de Colombia. I think this was in Spanish, and yeah, I don't know what it is. And then we have Avianca, which is this name is in black, and we have Lea Lianas Areas International Colombian. This most likely in Portuguese, I think. So the Avianca changed to black. Before there was a red background, and Avianca, and there was a line, and Lea Lianas de Colombia completely changed to all white. Then the background was removed, and Avianca was changed to color red. Before this kind of like a horizontal X was added with the colors red and yellow. The next logo didn't change, but except for there was a little bit darker. The X was then removed and in place took what looked like a bird. Yeah, it looked like a bird. Then we have Latam Brazil, which is the flag carrying. Latam Brazil, which is the flag carrier of Brazil. The first logo had TAM. Before Latam Brazil was named TAM Airline. So yeah, TAM had this kind of like I don't know what is this, but yeah, the T was sticking out. Then that was changed to the opposite side, and TAM, TAM, and then the emblem was then removed, and then took line only TAM was left. TAM was then added in front with the bird. Before the logo completely changed its name, Latam Airlines. It became a portion of the Latam, according to rename as Latam Brazil, and there was a few stripes added. The next airline is Latam Chile, which is the private and also the biggest airline of Chile. The first logo involved the first logo has the Liana Area Nacional Chile. Liana Area Nacional. It was actually one logo. And then there was actually two logos again. And then before it was changed to one logo, Land Chile. The A was really big. The A of airlines was really big. It added over the entire head and then came. And then there was kind of like a star, exactly the flag here, which is the flag of Chile. It's apart from the flag of Chile, the land Chile. The land Chile, alien Chile, alien Chile was again changed too, and the star was removed in front. In place took the two basic color flag of Chile. Alien Chile, alien Chile. Then the star reappeared again, and then only the star reappeared with the land Chile now appearing in blue and the line appearing in orange. Before it became LAN with star over here. Latam once the Latam group was founded, the logo was changed to the same as Latam Brazil. So this is Latam Chile. Our final chapter is the Australian logos, which are only two. So our first airline is Air New Zealand. The flag carrier is New Zealand. First we have this kind of like it looks like a bird. And then it looks like the wind was blowing and the name Air New Zealand written next to it. The the name Air New Zealand then changed, the emblem still remaining. The background was also removed. Then the emblem moved to the right of the name Air New Zealand was changed to black, and the font was a little bit changed to how it was today. Our our final airline is Qantas for today in this video. So the flag carrier of Australia. This Qantas is the second oldest airline, founded in 1920. So Qantas Limited. We have Qantas Limited. So Qantas Limited had this kind of like it was very simple. And then the flag carrier of Australia was added between two wings, named Qantas Limited over here. And then the original kangaroo emblem, which is still seen to this day, appeared within the name Qantas Empire Airways. And kangaroos, and yeah, literally mentioned kangaroo service over here. And then Qantas, the kangaroo, then was changed a lot, with the globe appearing it, and the name Qantas was removed. Yeah, if you see carefully, you can see Australia over here. And I think this is Britain, yeah. And then the kangaroo was changed again. The kangaroo was faced the opposite side this time, and it had a red circle below it, which is named Qantas. Then the kangaroo was moved into the vertical stabilizer with the name Qantas appearing to the right of it. The font was changed over Qantas, and in the final logo, the triangle became a little more curvy and the name Qantas. So guys, that is it for today. So yeah, I know this is a very long video. So guys, this is it for today. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. This is Saurus signing off.